welcome to Live Your Bliss Today. This is your host, Kenyette Kilpatrick, and today we have special guest Patricia Cota Robles on the call with us. Patricia Cota Robles is co-founder and president of the nonprofit educational organization New Age Study of Humanity's Purpose, which sponsors the annual World Congress on Illumination. Patricia was a marriage and family counselor for 20 years and now spends her time freely sharing the information she is receiving from the beings of light in the realms of illuminated truth. This is accomplished through her website webinars, YouTube videos, Facebook sharings, and various other media, including her free monthly email articles and the free seminars she offers throughout the United States. The divine intent of these celestial sharings is to give humanity greater clarity and understanding as we progress through these wondrous but often challenging times on earth. Patricia's philosophy is every person is precious and divine, regardless of how far his or her behavior patterns and life experiences may be from reflecting that truth. We are not victims of our lives, but are the co-creators. And now is the time to create the lives we have always dreamed about. I hope you all join me in warmly welcoming to the call Patricia Cota Robles. Hi, Patricia.
Well, hello, Kenyette. It's wonderful to be here. It's a special time, and there's a lot going on, so it's wonderful for all of us to be able to collectively expand this light into the world for everybody.
Well, I agree with you, and thank you so much for being with us. I'm really honored that you could join us today.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Well, Patricia, I wanted to just go ahead and start with how did you go from working in family counseling to what you're doing today with the New Age Study of Humanity's Purpose?
Well, in this lifetime, I really think this is a unique moment on Earth, and I think all of us have been preparing for lifetimes to fulfill our facet of the divine plan. And in this lifetime, I was going through a lot of challenges as a child and consistently asking God, why in the world is there so much pain and suffering on this planet? And as I went through my personal quest for answers, which took me through the gamut of world religions and psychology and understanding the powers of the mind and metaphysical teachings and everything I could get my hands on, and realizing that a lot of the things I was looking for were not available through the normal scientific and academic world that we are dealing with, even through the spiritual teachings that were available. There seemed to be big gaps in the information. So I just kept asking God, why is there so much pain and suffering? And then I realized that I needed to go within and take the time to listen for the answers to those questions. And what I became aware of is that the beings of light in the realms of illumined truth, which are just our sisters and brothers that have evolved to higher levels of evolution, they're like college professors compared to us being kindergarten students. They are also sons and daughters of God, just like we are, but have moved on to a higher evolutionary path. And they consist of all of the magnificent beings that we're familiar with the various world religions, as well as ascended masters, cosmic and galactic beings, all of the graded orders of angels. And I realized through their response and through connecting with them at that open heart and mind telepathic level that they are standing in readiness. They've always been there. We were never supposed to lose the ability to communicate with them. And I found out that it was only when we experienced what we call our fall from grace that we fell into such dense frequencies of vibration that we couldn't openly hear that communication. And so with that knowledge and with the information that I was being taught, it was life-transforming for me, and I didn't want anyone to not have access to the information because of a financial obligation. So my friends and I and wonderful volunteers and light workers actually around the planet volunteer to assist in various ways to hold the sacred space for this information and for the ability to share it so that people could experience it and receive it and open up to themselves. And it's important to understand I'm just an ordinary human being. I'm not psychic. This has nothing to do with channeling or supernatural extrasensory perception. It's just really the fulfillment of what we've always known. You know, we've heard things like, ask and you shall receive, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within, and all else will be revealed to you. These are not just lofty platitudes. These are profound truths. And when we started using our gift of life, our thoughts and feelings, to create things that were less than heaven on earth, you know, when we began using our creative faculties of thought and feeling and our gift of free will to create patterns that were based in fear and anger and things that were not related to the original divine plan, we started experiencing what was called our fall from grace. This was symbolically represented when God said, do not partake of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Well, all evil is just patterns and thoughts and feelings. All evil is the absence of love. So what our fall consisted of is us moving out of a place of love and oneness with life, creating separation and duality, which then created fear and all of the things that we started experiencing through that fear that catapulted us into the chaos and things and the negativity that we're experiencing now. So we're now in this unique moment. I have become aware, and millions of people on the planet are also becoming aware of this, when we are reversing the adverse effects of that fall from grace. And there are many cosmic and galactic things that are taking place that have catapulted us to this greatly accelerated process that we're in the midst of now. And it's affecting every single person, every single particle and wave of life on Earth. And we are really ascending, moving back into not only reversing the adverse effects of our fall from grace, but fulfilling the next step of our evolutionary process, which means moving into a higher frequency of what is being called the new Earth, you know, into the fifth dimensional crystalline solar light frequencies of the new Earth. And so I know that sometimes if this sounds new, I want to assure everybody that it is not new information. Everybody knows this through every fiber of their being, or they would not have been allowed to embody on Earth at this time during this auspicious moment. But the whole intent of this information is to bring this information to the surface. And that's what I, at some level, feel like my small thread that I'm weaving into the tapestry of life involves, is reminding us and encouraging people to connect with the realms of truth and to get the information directly for themselves, because no matter how much you trust somebody, no matter how much you resonate with what they're saying or how clear you think they are or how much you love them or whatever, nevertheless, that information is still being filtered through that person's consciousness. And that's going to always be affected by their own personal experience. And as I explain, you know, when there's a car accident and 5 people witness the accident and the policeman takes a story of each person, asks each person what they experienced, they'll get 5 different answers. And it's not because 5 different things happened. It's because each person perceived that accident through their own life experience, and their God self, their I am presence, was helping them learn what they needed to learn from observing that particular experience. So it's going to be unique for everybody, and everybody has an individual part of the plan, but we're also coming together collectively as a group. And that's why it's wonderful for us to be able to join forces like we are today on this wonderful call. And Kenyette, you've done such an incredible service of adding to the light of the world through your radio program of Live Your Bliss Today, because this is one of the critical factors that the beings of light are sharing with us, and why this information is flowing forth from the heavenly realms, literally through every single open door. And if one person isn't saying it in a way you can relate to, there's hundreds of other people with different perceptions that are saying the same thing, which is that we are moving forward in the light, that every particle of life, every person, place, condition, or thing on this planet is interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent, and what affects one part of life affects all life. And because of that, we have the ability to serve as surrogates and on behalf of humanity and behalf of the rest of the planet. And the thing about calls like this, when there are hundreds or thousands of people joining together in consciousness, we create this collective cup. And what is happening at this very moment and will be sustained now and continue even through replays and through people tuning in for this presentation for whenever they are in the future, they will weave their magnificent light into this chalice of consciousness that we have created. And this chalice of consciousness now is cradling the entire planet Earth. And because I have invoked the company of heaven, and because we're talking about the company of heaven and getting their attention, they are literally gathering in the atmosphere above the earth to assist us during this time. And because of the urgency of the hour, of what is really taking place on earth, and we'll talk about that a little bit, because of the urgency of the hour, and because literally every single day there are billions of people, billions with a B, that in one way or another turn their attention to a higher power and invoke the light of God into their lives. These heartfelt pleas are always heard and they're always answered. And because of this awakening and this collective invocation of the light that's taking place every single day, our Father, Mother, God, that all-encompassing presence, that omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, cosmic I am, all that is, that force field of light within which everything lives, moves, breathes, and has its being, has granted permission for the beings of light, our sisters and brothers that are assisting us from on high, to amplify our efforts 1,000 times, 1,000-fold. So when we gather together in consciousness like we're doing today, and like you are with every single group or every single person you interact with in a positive way, you know, we've heard the expression, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. Well, whenever we collectively join together, our efforts are expanded, and 1,000 times, 1,000-fold by the company of heaven, and we can invoke the light. Because we are one, what that means literally and tangibly is that every single thought, word, action, feeling, expression, memory, or belief we have every single moment of every single day, depending on what the frequency of vibration is, we are either adding to the light of the world and all creation, or we're adding to the chaos. If we're angry, if we're frustrated, if we're negative, if we're fearful, we are adding to that collective fear, vibration, and negativity on the planet. If we are happy, if we are loving, if we are joyful, we are adding to the light and the joy of the world. And the reason the beings of light are giving us literally unprecedented assistance, they've literally, what they describe, have been given permission to come through the veil to meet us halfway. So instead of us stretching through that psychic astral realm of chaos and confusion, the negativity around the earth, they are meeting us halfway, so it's much, much easier for us to connect with them. You know, when people go through the near-death experience and talk about passing through that dark tunnel into the light, that's what they're doing. They're passing through this sea of negativity, which is just the collective vibration of humanity's thoughts, words, actions, and feelings that we are responsible, we've created, and we're responsible for transmuting back into light. But now there are legions of light from on high assisting us, and all we have to do is ask them. And because we are one, and that everything we do affects every single person, every single particle of life on the planet, let alone in our solar system, in our universe, through all galaxies in creation, it adds to either the collective light of the world or the shadow. If we consciously make the decision that we are going to monitor our thoughts and feelings and deliberately live our bliss and add to the light of the world every day, that exponentially assists humanity to lift up out of the mud puddle of the human miscreations enough so that our sisters and brothers in the family of humanity can begin focusing on the light and bringing that light into their own lives enough that they can get their head above the mud puddle of their painful life experiences enough to start working directly with the beings of light and getting their individualized assistance and guidance so that they can fulfill their plan, whatever that is. And everybody's plan, regardless of how horrific things look in the outer world, is designed to assist in one way or another this planet and all her life to move forward into the new heaven and the new earth, which we are now in the process of doing. And the reason things look so horrific in the outer world is because there are millions of people, millions, every single day who are awakening. And they're beginning to remember that they are not this fragmented, fear-based consciousness of their human ego, but rather that they are a beloved son or daughter of God, and that all our Father, Mother, God have is ours. And in order to tap into that and to begin remembering and connecting with that profound knowledge and sacred truth and information, we just have to ask for it, and we just have to start accepting that it's available to us. This is what is happening now. And the reason the beings of light are giving us this information is to remind us so that we aren't just weeping and wailing through our valley of tears, wringing our hands, feeling like the earth is going down into this spiral of oblivion and everything is going to end up in Earth's demise. Nothing could be further from the truth. We are doing the exact opposite of that. But what is happening is because of this awakening, people are invoking the light. They're reaching up, and this light is flowing into the physical plane. There's a universal law that states the call for assistance must come from the realm where the assistance is needed. And what that means is that the beings of light cannot just wave their wand and transform the negative things that we are creating down here in the physical plane. We are sons and daughters of God. We've been given the gift of free will. We've been given the creative faculties of thought and feeling with the divine intent of learning how to be co-creators with our Father, Mother, God. The purpose of those gifts was that we were supposed to observe all of the patterns of perfection in the causal body of God, where everything begins in those realms of cause. And then through our unique perception and our unique way of thinking and feeling, for us to take those patterns of perfection and combine them into previously unknown expressions of divinity, creating new, beautiful expressions of bliss and ecstasy and wonder and awe, so that we can move into even higher expressions of heaven on earth. And so that we would focus on that, there was one commandment given: do not partake of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the reason that even had to be given to us is because we're a fairly new solar system. And in other time frames and dimensions, some of the sons and daughters of God had chosen to use their gift of life in ways that did not reflect love. And so those human miscreations those distorted perceptions and thoughts and feelings, whether it was greed or the abuse of power or hatred or prejudice or all of those kinds of abominations that are anything other than love, which needs to be the basis of all of our creations, those things then manifested as disease and war and hatred and greed and corruption, abuse of power, those things reflected on the elemental kingdom that manifests our thoughts and feelings. So we started experiencing inclement weather conditions and lack and limitation and plagues and pestilence and all of the things that were a result of the fall. So now these gross mutations that we created or miscreated have to be transmuted back into light to complete this ascension process. And so what is happening now at a greatly accelerated pace is that as we invoke this magnificent light from the fifth dimensional crystalline frequencies of the new earth that we are moving into, when we invoke this light into this negativity, this light floods the earth and it enters the core of purity in all of these gross mutations. For example, if we are invoking the light of God, the full momentum of divine love, which includes every other attribute of God, say we are trying to eliminate poverty or lack or limitation in our life, we invoke this light. And we have the ability of saying, I ask the company of heaven and my I am presence, which is my divine self. We each have an I am presence, which is that reflection of the cosmic I am, all that is. When we say, I ask my I am presence to transmute all of the thoughts, words, actions, and feelings I have ever released in any time frame or dimension, both known and unknown, that reflect lack or limitation or poverty consciousness. Our I am presence brings that light into the divinity of our heart because we are in this dimension. The call for assistance must come from the realm where the assistance is needed. This light enters our heart flame, and it is stamped with our unique, individualized electronic light pattern. This happens with every electron of our life force that flows through our bodies. It goes through the divinity of our heart, and it's stamped with our unique electronic light pattern. We know we have unique fingerprints, we have unique voice patterns, we have unique respiration patterns, unique DNA. We also have unique electronic light patterns. This is the light that activates our brain, that beats our heart, that flows through our acupuncture meridians. It's our life force. And so it's stamped with our individual electronic light pattern. So when we're invoking the light of God, which is always pulsating with God's infinite abundance and all of the other attributes of God, and ask to transmute and clear the patterns that we have created or miscreated in the past that are now manifesting as lack or limitation or poverty in our lives, then this light flows forth from us on our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings. Our I am presence directs it, and it literally flows into the atmosphere of Earth, and it magnetizes to it any other energy out there that's vibrating with poverty consciousness that we have miscreated. And this light enters the core of purity in that energy. Within every electron of energy, no matter how distorted or mutated it is now, still pulsates the original divine potential. Just like within every person, no matter how far they may be from outpicturing their full divine potential as a child of God, they still have the full divine potential pulsating in the divinity within their heart flame, that spark of divinity. So this energy enters that core of purity, and it activates that divine potential. So say you're going through a financial crisis and you have this momentum of poverty consciousness that's manifested maybe even for lifetime after lifetime of lack and limitation. This light floods the atmosphere, draws that energy, it enters that core of purity, and it begins spinning that more rapidly on its axis. And what happens then, it's like, if you could see it with your inner vision, it's like a propeller of an airplane covered with mud. As it begins through the centrifugal force, spinning faster and faster, this heavy frequency of poverty is cast off into the light, and prosperity consciousness is expanded in that energy. But the result is that as this happens, that negativity, that mud that's been cast off, is pushed to the surface of our lives so that we can see it, so that we can finish learning from it, so that we can understand that we have miscreated this. And so this is what's happening all over the world at this time. The light is flowing into the planet, and people don't even have to understand about having the unique electronic light pattern. They don't have to understand about invoking it specifically, working with the company of heaven. All they need to do is know that they are praying for God's light in their life, even the most asleep, recalcitrant person. For instance, even, we'll say, ISIL, with the incredibly distorted hijacking that has happened with the Muslim religion, which is a religion based in peace, as all world religions are. Those people, as distorted as they have taken that teaching, still stop and pray 5 times a day. And during that time, they are sending their love to God and invoking the light of God into their lives. So that collectively with the rest of humanity, and there are billions of people who are working for the light and are deliberately striving to be the highest divine person that they can be, these energies then are pushing all of the garbage, every negative thought, word, action, or feeling humanity has ever released since the initial impulse of the fall is being pushed to the surface. And so from outer appearances, it looks horrible. And this is the time biblically that was referred to as the time of screaming and gnashing of teeth, because we easily see the garbage being pushed to the surface. What we don't see is the incredible light that is pushing it to the surface. So it looks as though things are getting worse. So the reason the beings of light are helping us so much and giving us this information is because they want us to know through every level of consciousness that the opposite is taking place on this planet. We are multi-dimensional beings of light, and we are functioning on many dimensions simultaneously. The physical plane of Earth that we think of as being so real, and because of the fragmented consciousness of our human ego that we fell to, many people believe that their physical body is all that they are, and that this physical plane is all that exists, and that if it doesn't exist here, if they can't see it or taste it or smell it, that it doesn't exist. The beings of light have said this physical plane that we think of as being so real, that our scientists are trying to confirm the reality of who we are through this limited physical plane. They have said this dimension is the very least real of all of the dimensions that we abide in. And it is the very last dimension to reflect the incredible changes that are taking place at this time in the realms of cause and then filtering into the world of effects. But where your attention is, there you are. So if we are focusing on the negativity, if we are focusing on everything that's going wrong and pointing it out and empowering it and feeling fear about it, worrying about it in a negative way, we are actually giving our power away to the very thing that we're trying to transmute back into light. And so there have been given some incredible tools and gifts that will help us and help transmute this negativity at a greatly accelerated pace so that we can keep our heads far above the mud puddle of our human miscreations, and we can be living, moving, and breathing in these higher frequencies of the fifth dimensional realms of cause, the new heaven and the new earth. And that, even though it may seem like it's eons away before that'll happen, it is truly a slight adjustment in our awareness. We can do it right here and right now by living in our bliss and making the conscious choice to maintain our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings in those frequencies. Now, negativity is coming up. Negativity in our own lives is coming up. All we have to do is turn on the television to see negativities coming up all over the world. This doesn't mean putting our head in the sand and pretending like those things don't exist, but it means invoking the light for ourselves, moving into the higher frequencies through meditation, through music, through focusing on things that make our hearts sing, living our bliss. You know, admiring a beautiful sunset adds to the light of the world. Playing with the baby, loving our loved ones, feeling that inner peace, being in joy, revering our bodies, exercising, respecting ourselves, loving humanity, doing meditations. Everything that we do to add to the light of the world is being amplified 1,000 times 1,000-fold. And when we come together like this, in a group of us doing this together, you can imagine how exponentially expanded that light is. And that's what's happening at this time. So we are being asked to invoke the light and to stay focused on the light. And simultaneously, we are to transmute the negativity that's surfacing. The most powerful tool to transmute the negativity that's surfacing is the predominant energy that will be bathing the planet for the next 2,000-year cycle as we are held in the embrace of the new age or the sun cycle of Aquarius. There are 12 solar aspects of deity, each one vibrating with beautiful colors, tones, musical frequencies. Each one pulsates through the 12 natural constellations that we know of as our zodiac. But for our time that we have here today, I just want to talk about the energies that are flowing through the force field of Aquarius that we have, as of this year, 2016, moved into the full embrace of the Aquarian age. The energies flowing through this, the reason this is such a powerful time for us, this energy consists of what is known as the seventh solar aspect of deity, and it is the violet flame of God's infinite perfection. And what the violet flame is, it is the perfect balance of the sapphire blue flame of our Father God and the full divine momentum of His divine will, illumined faith, power, protection, and God's first cause of perfection. The first cause of our Father God and His divine will. That is one aspect of this violet flame. The other aspect is the feminine polarity of our Mother God, what we've thought of as the Holy Spirit, because we lost the awareness with the fall of the love nature of our Mother God. We knew that the Holy Spirit was the Holy Comforter and the love nature of God, but we fell into such a patriarchal, fragmented consciousness that we forgot about our Divine Mother, the feminine polarity of God. And as sons and daughters of God, as above, so below, what child is ever conceived without a father and a mother? So our Mother God's frequency is divine love, and this is what we lost the awareness of. This is a crystalline pink frequency of transfiguring divine love, the most powerful frequency of love in all creation. And the violet flame is consisting of these two frequencies of light. And this is the violet flame of God's infinite perfection. It is now building in momentum on this planet. And the beings of light have said it is a gift from our Father, Mother God, and it is the most powerful tool available to transmute the negativity that's surfacing in our life back into light. And all we have to do is invoke the violet flame and ask the legions of light in the company of heaven and our Father, Mother God to send this gift of the violet flame through us. And it flows through our crown chakra of enlightenment, which is opening, returning us to Christ consciousness as sons and daughters of God. And the flame with our right in our crown chakra is a yellow gold flame of enlightenment. In the beginning, our Father God sent forth his blue flame of power, activating our left brain, the rational, logical mind, and the power center of our throat, and then anchored that flame in our heart, and it's part of our heart flame, the divinity in our heart. Our Mother God activated our right brain, the creative, intuitive mind, and then anchored it through the heart, awakening the love center of our heart chakra, and anchored that pink flame in our heart flame. Then these two flames of our Father, Mother God merged into the violet flame of God's infinite perfection, blazed into our brains, and connected our right and left brain, flowing back and forth through the right and left brain hemispheres as a reclining figure 8, an infinity symbol. And it activated our spiritual brain centers, our pituitary, pineal, and hypothalamus glands, and the ganglionic centers at the base of our brain. This awakened our crown chakra of enlightenment, birthing us into Christ consciousness. Then that yellow gold flame was also anchored in the divinity of our heart. So this threefold flame, the blue flame of our Father God's power, the pink flame of our Mother God's love, and the yellow gold flame of the enlightenment, Christ consciousness, the wisdom of the sons and daughters of God, is what makes up what is called our immortal, victorious threefold flame. This is the true reflection of the Holy Trinity. Now, when we invoke the violet flame, that flows through this crown chakra of enlightenment into our heart flame, and it's stamped with our individual pattern. Then we have the ability to say, I ask the violet flame to transmute every electron of energy, every thought, word, action, feeling, memory, or belief I have ever expressed in any time frame or dimension, known or unknown, that is less than heaven on earth. And the violet flame will flow through the atmosphere of earth through all time frames and dimensions, entering the core of purity again, and surrounding this energy as this negativity, this black tar-like substance is being cast off from the atoms and molecules of this energy. It'll be cast off into the violet flame, so that then instead of the light just transmuting, just releasing it and pushing it to the surface for us to see it, so we'll learn from it, it transmutes it back into its original perfection. Everything, no matter how distorted or awful it is, every electron manifesting as war, every electron manifesting as hate or poverty, was originally our pure life force, our pure gift of life, divine, intelligent energy that we received, and through our free will choice, we distorted it into this gross mutation through hate, through anger, through corruption, through all of that abuse of power. So this precious life energy is now like this wounded child that must be transmuted back into light. And this is what happens with the violet flame. It transmutes the negativity, the negative vibrations, and through the perfect balance of our Father, Mother, God, it raises this energy up back into the heart of God. And so we have the ability to invoke this violet flame. Since we are one with all humanity, we absolutely have the ability to invoke the violet flame on behalf of everybody on this planet, no matter how oblivious they may be to it. Even if every moment of every single day they are still acting out adversely, creating more havoc and negativity on the planet, we have the ability, through their I Am presence, their God Self, to invoke this light on their behalf. Now, what happens when we invoke it through their I Am presence, and that's as simple as saying, I am my I Am presence, and I am one with the I Am presence of all humanity. The light I invoke for myself, I invoke for all life evolving on this planet. That simple statement gives the I Am presence of that person permission to now receive this incredible light from on high and to utilize it to help wake that person up and transmute their negativity. But it will be done through the I Am presence in perfect alignment with that person's divine plan and their highest good, because the I Am presence knows why they're doing what they're doing, what they're learning from that, how they're going to grow from that, and then how they're going to transmute that back into light. So it's not interference for us to invoke the light on somebody else's behalf, but rather it is an incredible gift of divine intervention that their I Am presence is now given permission to intervene. And so what I'd like to do today with our meditation is for us to come together in this collective consciousness, realizing that what we are being asked to do through this wonderful program and through this wonderful telesummit that Kenyette is arranging for us is to shift the consciousness of humanity into a frequency of bliss so that they realize and they know that the light of God is always victorious and we are that light. And that with every call, with every invocation, with every thought, word, action, or feeling that we release that is vibrating at a frequency of bliss or joy, we are lifting up every particle of life on this planet. Then what will happen? Instead of millions of people awakening every day, which is happening right here and right now, there will be tens of millions, and then hundreds of millions, and then billions of people, until pretty soon the negativity that's surfacing will be transmuted back into light, and we will completely make the shift into the new heaven and the new earth. And even though from this perspective now, because everything's being pushed to the surface so quickly and we see the garbage so easily, even though that's coming up now, the beings of light want us to understand that the people wreaking havoc on this planet are a minuscule fraction of the 7.5 billion souls evolving on this planet. Light is infinitely more powerful than negativity. The light that we are invoking, not only is it more powerful than the negativity, but the company of heaven is amplifying our efforts 1,000 times 1,000-fold. This is why all of the prophecy said in this time, in this day, in this age, we will be transforming the earth in the twinkling of an eye. Because compared to the millions of years we've been experiencing since the fall, it is going to be much faster than outer appearances seem to indicate. So, Kenyette, I'd like to go ahead and do our meditation now. Does that feel right with you? Is there anything you want to contribute or say before we do?
It does, actually, Patricia, but I didn't want to stop you from talking because I just love the message and I think it's so important. But we got quite a number of questions, and most of it was around politics and finances. And I think a lot of people are having an issue with the things that they are seeing in the world, on the world stage, and in their own lives. And so it's kind of hard for some of them to, even though it resonates with them, to fully accept that things are moving in a more positive way. It's just that we're not able to see that at this point in time.
Right. And that is certainly true. I mean, it's very difficult to realize the magnitude of what is happening on a positive side when we see so much negativity. And what's going on in our politics is really a perfect example of everything that conflicts with the light being pushed to the surface. It is the antithesis of what divine government on the new heaven and the new earth will be. That is the government of the I Am presence, by the I Am presence, for the I Am presence, so that every person's divine self is working for the highest good of all concerned, creating win-win situations, reveling and revering our diversities, our differences, everybody moving forward into this light. And what's happening now in such a blatant way is we are seeing how very, very broken our political system is, how very far we are from that. So what the company of heaven, this is the kind of thing that we need to be blazing it with the violet flame, transmuting this negativity and asking the I Am presence of everybody associated with the governments of the world, but at this time specifically also with the United States of America, including every politician, everyone running for office, the entire electorate, invoking their I Am presence and asking their I Am presence to take full dominion of their thoughts, words, actions, and feelings, to flood them with the consciousness of oneness, to flood them with the light of God so that they begin to remember that they're divine beings and that there is no separation, and that you cannot harm a single part of life without harming yourself and adding chaos to the collective negativity on the universe. So this is why this information is coming, so that we can transmute this as it comes up, rather than just feeling hopeless and helpless about it, because that certainly is what it looks like from outer appearances. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
And the imbalances of money, the abuse of power, God is our supply, and all of this, we've created a monetary system, so yes, we have to function within a monetary system at this time, but for us to be invoking the violet flame to transmute any consciousness we have of lack and limitation, activating the infinite flow of God's abundance in our lives and feeling that flow and opening to that consciousness that the light of God is always victorious, as I said. And, you mentioned my website and thing. I have articles, I have webinars, I have many, many things there. You can sign up for the free monthly email newsletter for free that are describing how we can help quickly transmute this and how we can shift out of this consciousness, because this is the purpose of all of this information. When I asked, why is there so much pain and suffering in the world, and then after a period of time of asking and listening and finally tapping into the realms of truth where the answers were, I realized that it is absolutely correctable, that we have created this, that it has nothing whatsoever to do with God's will, that these are our human miscreations. We have the absolute ability and the infinite assistance of the heavenly realms to transmute all of the results of our fall from grace and restore us back to the harmony of the family of humanity, the loving oneness that is Earth's divine destiny.
Well, thank you, Patricia, for that. And I absolutely think this is a great time to do the guided meditation right now.
Okay. We'll do that again. We're going to do this on behalf of all humanity. And what I'd like for us to realize that we're doing at this time, there's a powerful full moon that we've just experienced on Saturday, and we're still being held in the embrace of those energies. So much is happening that we are going to be invoking this light on behalf of all humanity, every man, woman, and child belonging to or serving the earth at this time, whether he or she is in or out of embodiment. And through their I Am presence, we ask here and now that this light be received in perfect alignment with that person's divine plan and the highest good for all concerned, bringing forth the light and the shift. And so what we are going to do today is just create this force field of light that's really going to be building an energy and momentum from this moment forth. And we are creating this powerful thought form, and every time we think of it, every time we empower it, every time we consciously work with these concepts and these understandings, we will be expanding this light not only for ourselves, but on behalf of Mother Earth, humanity, and all life evolving on this planet. So going within to the divinity of your heart, we will begin by a rhythmic breath. We will do an in-breath, and then hold the breath, then exhale, and then hold the breath out. And I'm going to say a little statement with each of these breaths. On the in-breath, I will say, I am in-breathing, and the statement. As we hold the breath, I am assimilating. As we exhale, I am expanding. And as we hold the breath out, I am projecting. So together we'll do this breath 3 times, and then just remain in the divinity of your heart, breathing normally as we continue with these words, activating the divine potential and awakening the I Am presence within the conscious mind of each person on this planet. Begin by exhaling. Together, just I am in-breathing the love of God into all life on earth. Hold. I am assimilating the love of God into all life on earth. Exhale. I am expanding the love of God into all life on earth. Hold. I am projecting the love of God into all life on earth. I am in-breathing the love of God into all life on earth. I am assimilating the love of God into all life on earth. I am expanding the love of God into all life on earth. I am projecting the love of God into all life on earth. I am inbreathing the love of God into all life on earth. I am assimilating the love of God into all life on earth. I am expanding the love of God into all life on earth. I am projecting the love of God into all life on earth. And just breathe normally. This invocation is stated in the first person, so each of us experiences it personally and individually, but simultaneously it is being absorbed, assimilated, and utilized through the I Am presence of every person on earth. This is the truth about me. As I assimilate the love of my Father, Mother, God, I begin to realize the truth about me. I came into this world with a very specific purpose. I came to fulfill a mission. I came to love life free and to realize the truth about me. I came to contribute to the salvation of this sweet earth. I am part of God, and the fullness of my Father, Mother, God abides in me. In the mind of God, no one is useless or meaningless. Every single person is valuable and critically important to the balance and the order of the universe. Without me, God would not be complete. Without me, the universe would lose its equilibrium. All that I am and all that I am called to do now, I do with happiness and enthusiasm, for nothing is too insignificant. I am now embraced in my Father, Mother, God's love, and never again will there be a sense of futility in my life. I am overflowing with gratitude for the opportunity to be on earth during this auspicious time. I am so thankful to be right where I am, right here, serving all who come my way with love, joy, understanding, forgiveness, and God's infinite bliss. Recognizing my true worth, I now go forth to fulfill my divine mission. With my inner vision, I see the loving and all-encompassing light of my I Am presence, which is now freely flowing through me. With my physical sight, I see lavish abundance, happiness, and bliss everywhere. I am peaceful, powerful, and filled with divine love, for I remember who I am. I am a beloved child of God, and all that my Father, Mother, God have is mine. I now set my feet firmly on the path of divine love. As I remember who I am, I love and respect myself as a beloved child of God. I am enveloped in the invincible protection of God's life and love as I sojourn through all of my earthly experiences from this moment forth. I am manifesting perfection in my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies, and therefore I am vibrantly healthy and eternally youthful. Divine love continually flows through my heart flame, and I am creating wonderful, loving relationships in every single facet of my life. I am fulfilling my divine purpose, and I am financially and creatively rewarded in my job. Day by day, I am open and receptive to the limitless flow of God's abundance. I am financially free. I am reaching my highest divine potential in all of my experiences as a son or daughter, a wife or husband, a mother or father, a grandmother or grandfather, a woman or man, as a relative, a friend, a co-worker, a teacher, a steward of the earth, a light worker, and a co-creator of heaven on earth. I am an example of divine family life, including my place in the family of humanity. My heart is an open door through which flows now the infinite light of God's eternal peace, abundance, divine love, wisdom, enlightenment, illumination, harmony, balance, happiness, joy, and bliss. Through my thoughts, words, actions, feelings, memories, and beliefs, I am a living example of God's divine love, God's truth, integrity, honesty, tolerance, acceptance, and reverence for all life. Through this new divine presence that I accept completely, I am able to communicate openly and honestly with every person I come in contact with, and I am a compassionate and thoughtful listener. I continually ask for guidance from my I Am presence, and I receive viable solutions to the various situations in my life. I am also receiving guidance that will assist me in fulfilling my divine plan and my purpose and reason for being. I am a powerful instrument of God serving on earth at this time, and I now invoke the light of God, the magnificent violet flame of God's infinite perfection, to instantly transmute through the power of this divine violet flame every thought, word, feeling, or action I have ever expressed in any time frame or dimension, both known or unknown, that would in any way prevent or delay these patterns of perfection from manifesting in my life here and now, even as I call. I accept that this invocation has been God victoriously established in, through, and around this planet, me, and all life evolving on this planet, right here and right now, and that this infinite force field of light will be increased daily and hourly, moment by moment, the maximum that cosmic law will allow, with every breath I take. And so it is. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am that I am.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for that meditation.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Kenyette.
I know that we are at the top of the hour now, and we're coming to the end of the call. And for the Live Your Bliss subscribers, Patricia has created a free gift for you. It's called Releasing the Human Ego Video and Script. And Patricia, before you tell the audience what it's about, I just wanted to let you know that if you are on the webcast, you can push the free gift button. But if you're on the call and you want to find it on the website, it's www.liveyourbbliss.today.com/PatriciaCotaRobles.html, and that's PatriciaCotaRobles.html. And Patricia, can you kind of tell us a little bit about the free gift today?
Yes, one of the things, the miracles have been happening over the past several decades, actually, but certainly greatly accelerated in the last few years. And we've reached a frequency of vibration that is allowing our I Am presence to actually burst the bonds of our human ego, and that has taken place in the realms of cause. And when that took place, which was actually in August of 2015, this last August, our I Am presence, and when I say our, I'm talking about every person on this planet, our I Am presence encapsulated our egos with Archangel Michael's circle of white lightning, which is called the ring pass knot, N-O-T, the ring pass knot of God's first cause of perfection. Our ego has then been taken into the divinity of our I Am presence, and our I Am presence is just flooding it with love. So the purpose of these invocations that we have done are to help transmute the residue and the habit that our egos created in our etheric bodies and in our memories and our behavior patterns. And most people aren't aware that this has happened at this level, and so many of them are still acting out of old, obsolete, dysfunctional behavior patterns that no longer serve their highest good. But the important thing to understand, they are not acting out of that because the ego is manipulating them at the level it was before. They are acting out of it out of habit, because that's what they're familiar with, that's what they've known, that's what their etheric records and memories are about. So this invocation and this video is designed to transmute those etheric records, to accelerate this process of loving the ego free into the light, and to help people move forward so that their I Am presence can more easily communicate through that still small voice within the divinity of their heart, so that they can hear that far more tangibly and clearly.
Well, wonderful. I think that is just such an amazing gift that you're giving to our subscribers. So thank you so much for that, Patricia, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, you're very welcome. It was certainly my honor.
And also, I just wanted to let the audience know, for more information about Patricia and the work that she's doing in the world, I can listen to you all day, to be honest. You can visit www.nsbs, eraofpeace.org, and that's ERAOFPEACE.org. Well, Patricia, I appreciate you for being here today and for adding even more light to the world.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone for listening. I hope Patricia's message of hope has touched your hearts and minds as it did mine. Thank you again for tuning in to experiencing another way of thinking and looking at the issues of the world today. As always, I encourage you to join us as often as you can to hear messages that not only inspire, but allow you in ways to live your bliss today. Take care.